There's been quite a bit of innovation lately with AI.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on Humane's AI pin, for example? I don't know if you've seen that.
I have. Uh, look,
I think he was an ex-Google employee as well, I believe.
I think they were ex-Apple.
Oh, ex-Apple.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think it's a, you know, I don't want to jump to conclusions because I really understand how difficult it is to, you know, conceptualize and come up with something. And, you know, the first few iterations, it might not, you know, it might not look like anything that you'd imagined, or, you know, it's like, oh, this is like stage 1 of stage 50 and like, just give it a chance. But I don't know. I think from what I've seen, look, it probably suffers from a number of things. The first being, like, you know, this sort of knee-jerk reaction a lot of people have when really new cutting-edge technology comes out. It's like people feel this need to jump on it and do something with it, and because it's new and cutting edge, it inherently means this thing is useful. You know, it's like applying tech for tech's sake. It's like, just because it's there doesn't mean it's useful yet. Doesn't mean you need to use it and put it in everything. So, like, you know, the theoretical idea behind the Humane pin and the concept itself, yeah, it's interesting, right? I think in practice, it's very, very far from anything that resembles a useful piece of technology. It's so experimental at the minute. I feel the way they're selling it and the way it's packaged, it, you know, there's a disconnect there. If they just be a little bit more honest, I think it would really help, because right now it comes across as, in my mind, like, it feels like it's just, you want to hate on it, because if you do a little bit of prodding and poking and scrape behind the surface, it just falls over really quickly. And it's because they've just tried to do too much with it too quickly. You know, a lot of the use cases, it's like, it's cool, but like, I don't know, it's not better than just me looking at my phone. You know, there's gonna be like a cost benefit, a return on investment for me to have this thing, and I think right now at least it's an interesting concept. I don't think they've cracked exactly what it should be yet, because the way they're describing it and what it does, it's like, it's pretty gimmicky, I think. Doesn't mean further down the line we won't be wearing one of these things in 15 years from now. You know, quite possibly we will be. Will it be that pin and that version of that pin? Absolutely not. I'll put my money on the fact that it won't be. But, you know, that doesn't mean that they're not onto something.
Yeah.
A really good example is a project we did in Tokyo in 2017 was called Braille Nails, and it was so it was together with Shiseido. Shiseido had they have like a gallery space, I think it's in Tokyo, where they you know, they sort of fund and sponsor it, and there's a lot of art in there, but there's also a lot of art there's a whole section for visually impaired people.
Yeah, okay.
So art that visually impaired people can experience. And they sort of, you know, they had use of our services, and it's like, oh, you know, we'd love to do something innovative, but we're not sure what, you know, being a beauty and makeup brand, it's like, what can we do that's really innovative and that's sort of, you know, future focused and experimental, and, you know, we want to be seen as always experimenting. And so we worked with them and we came up with this idea about Braille nails, because we looked at their product, kind of, you know, all the products they have, and we're like, what products that you have are relevant to a visually impaired person. We did a lot of like research and focus groups with visually impaired women in Japan and asked them, like, do you have a makeup routine? Like, what does that look like? What's your relationship to makeup creators and, a brand like Shiseido and all this sort of thing. And it was really surprising and so educational, obviously, for us. But I think in context of Shiseido as a brand, it's like, okay, from these focus groups, we were like, well, there's actually a lot of innovation you can do. And, visually impaired people still, like, they still use makeup. Like, they want to look good. They want to feel good. They want other people to think they look good. Not that makeup determines whether you look good or not, but, that normality of using those products was really important for them. So we felt compelled to just create something experimental that gave them another product that was just theirs. So Braille Nails was is a artificial acrylic nails that you could paint and design in any way, but it would have sort of, there were tactile nail designs, so you could feel them in the same way that Braille is what read by feeling. So we started to design contours, so you could feel what this nail design actually looked like. So there were colors and patterns that had reliefs, and you could feel that. And we created a camera badge to go along with those nail designs. So for every nail design, we had a camera badge which had a cover that matched that design. And that camera badge was running a computer vision system, machine learning system, that essentially recognized the nail designs as a marker.
Yep.
And when it recognized a nail, when it identified that, it would, that would automatically trigger a photo that would be taken, and then that photo was actually analyzed, and then there was a image to text system that then spoke out the description of that photo.
Cool.
So the whole premise there was like,
so was it like to take a photo of the nails with a background and it would describe that?
So the concept was, what if a visually impaired person could just point out in front of them and they could describe what they're pointing at? So it was as simple as like a magic, like, I'm pointing, tell me what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That was the idea. And
so it was a connection between the Braille nails and the camera, and you have to wear the Braille nails to get the camera to work. Is that right?
Yeah. So the idea was like, what if we could provide these nail designs, and it came with a camera badge, and there was a utility that that would be provided to visually impaired people. So I think now we obviously have phone apps that can do that, and it's there's a lot of different apps, but it was about building utility into a beauty product that had a really specific, I guess, use case for visually impaired people, which was really fun to work on and really difficult from a technical point of view, execution. But we got a prototype working and we tested it, and it was great. It didn't go any further than that, because to put a product like that into actual production for consumers is like millions of dollars and years and years and years. So, so my point being, Humane, many, many years later, I think one of the features there was just to actually speak back what you're looking at, right? There was like a connected badge and interface that allowed you to use your fingers and gestures and things like that. Yep. So I think conceptually that feels really interesting. Like, I feel like it's relevant. When I first saw Humane, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. It reminds me of the project we did like so long ago. Obviously it was like, that was just one feature, but yeah, look, the pin, I don't know, I think it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, I think sometimes you don't actually have to put that product into market. Sometimes the act of doing it, even maybe that company can show that they've did they ever like show that they worked on this with you, or it was never shown to anyone else, or
No, it was used internally. It was like internal promotions and stuff like
Internal
that, and
promotions, okay.
it was used a lot internally at Google as well.
yeah,
So there were a lot of like Google Cloud and machine learning events where, you know, we showed that as here's a brand, like a brand partnership, and the sorts of things that you can start to do.
yeah. I think what I was trying to say, it could act as a gesture sort of thing rather than being a product, like a gesture for innovation, a gesture for visually impaired people.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost, yeah.
I get your point. Yeah. I mean, I think Shiseido did PR it.
Oh, they
Right.
did? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's not something you go, okay, there's.
Or was it the new iPhone or?
Yeah. It's like sometimes, you don't need to make everything. I think similarly, Humane should have maybe PR it, talk about it.
Yeah, I
maybe
think.
maybe don't release it as an actual product yet. I
Yeah.
think that cost $500 or something,
Yeah.
or more. I don't know.
I agree that I think they should be more honest about it. Like the CEO, just the way he was presenting it, he was just very much, this is the next iPhone or something like that, rather than this is like an experimental project. Like I feel like if it was a GoFundMe project or something like that,
Yeah, that's a good way.
it was like, oh, that's cool. That'd be a cool thing.
Mm.
But yeah, there's a lot that I don't see working, and then the comments of all the videos. It's just like even the average person can see the problem with this product. But like you were saying, you never know where it's going to end up. And I remember a little product 10 years ago, called Google Glass, and I thought it was cool, but everyone else thought it was like a dorky thing, and maybe it wasn't working at that time because of the internet speed or the technology we had. But Apple just launched their Google VR.
Pro.
What is it? The Google AR
Vision Pro.
The Vision Pro. Yeah. So that's similar to the the Google Glass. Which, So you never know.
I mean, at least Google
Could be too early. Yeah.
Google had I think maybe self awareness to
remove the product. Yeah.
identify
they
Google
identified.
Glass is not taking off. So how about we just
Yeah.
which is that's part of the process, I think, of innovation. And I think Humane maybe should have identified that